Hello and welcome to Trojan Talk. I'm your host, Aaron Taylor. Here with me today is Scott Cross, the head coach of the Trojan men's basketball team. Scott, thanks for joining me here today.
Thank you for having me.
And you being here means that basketball season is right around the corner, an opportunity for folks to get back in Trojan Arena and see the team in action. So before we get into some details about the schedule and stuff like that, just tell me how you're feeling at this point going into the season. So.
I feel really good. We've been going since May 28th, I believe. So we've had our entire team here basically all summer long. And we start school early here in Troy compared to a lot of the country. So we've had them for quite some time. We've have just about everything put in offensively and defensively. I really like where we are at this point in time. I feel like we're way ahead of where we were last year. Last year we had so many young freshmen on the team. This year we have more experienced guys and we have a lot of returners. So it's been going very, very smoothly and excited to play against somebody else.
And you talk about returners, and that's one of the things you look at when you look at this squad. You've got some new folks, and we'll talk about the new folks, but you're returning pretty much your 5 starters. I mean, the guys who started pretty much every game for you last season, and that's got to make you feel a little bit comfortable that you've got a squad that has experience on the court.
Absolutely. We're returning 8 of our top 9 scorers from the previous year. I think it's headlined by Nick Stampley, who I think he finished the year as the 9th leading scorer in the Sun Belt Conference. I think 5 of those guys actually transferred to different schools. So Nick is technically the 4th leading returning scorer. It's kind of a little trivia question most people wouldn't know, because you don't really look at Nick as a scorer. You look at him more as a guy that's going to take charges, that's going to rebound, do the dirty work. But we have him coming back. Zay Williams started right beside him and started just about every game. Khalil Waters started a lot of games at the small forward for us. Duke Miles, started the majority of the games at the point guard position, had one of the best freshman years that I've ever been a part of for a freshman guard. And then you have Desmond Williams, who played the 2 for us and started the majority of the games as well. So all those guys are returning, and we have some other guys that came off the bench a little bit that can definitely contribute as well. And looking forward to getting started and playing somebody else.
And you talked about youth last year, but youth is kind of still a factor, because with this team, you look at the roster, and there's only 2 seniors on the squad. That one says a lot about the future, but also it just kind of shows where you are as a program, that you've got all these returners and just 2 seniors.
Yeah, I would still think we're going to be in the bottom half in terms of the country in our youth. Last year we were probably a top 20 youngest team in the country. This year, we'll probably be in the top 150 youngest teams in the country. So we're way, way older, but I still think we'll probably be one of the younger teams in the Sun Belt Conference. So, the main thing is you want to have those guys come back the following year with the transfer portal. You never can tell. I mean, there were schools in our league who lost as many as 11 scholarship players. At our level, a lot of times the Power 5 schools are recruiting guys right off your roster. So you have a freshman like a Duke Miles and he has a great year, well, schools will just pick up the phone and start recruiting them even though they're not supposed to.
Yeah, but you got them, you keep them there, and you added some new players into the fold, some signees that are going to add a little bit of extra talent to the team as well. And how's it merging some of that new talent in with what you got there so far?
We definitely have increased our size and our strength. I think it's kind of headlined Effie Odeji from transfer from UTEP's, a little bit above 6'8", probably 250 plus. He's a banger down low, kind of an old school throwback post player, can score over either shoulder. He'll be a physical presence for us. Then we have Ryf and Miguel, who's a transfer from Ohio. He also plays the 5. Very, very skilled, big body again, 6'8", 250, which will allow Zay and Nick Stampley to be our power forwards. So now all of a sudden you're 6'8" and 6'9" in the front line, and then we signed Nathan Shamanga, who's a 6'10" small forward. So we could have a lineup at 6'10", 6'9", 6'9", which is way, way bigger than anything we've had over my previous 2 years.
I was about to say that those got a little bit extra height this season. So, And speaking of height, you got a couple of high-profile games, especially in the non-conference, because you get a chance for folks to see you on SEC Network against big name school there. When you got Florida, you got that national spotlight for you there this year.
Yeah, that'll definitely be a great test. I mean, a great venue to play in. Obviously, it gets packed in there every single game. You know, they have a great program. Anytime you play an SEC team, you know you're going to have to play your best basketball, but it'll prepare us for, you know, the most intense environment that we're going to play in the Sun Belt Conference, and give our fans an opportunity to come down there and you know, watch a very, very exciting basketball game.
And the folks that can't be able to watch it on national television,
That's
you'll
right.
get that. You'll be in that spotlight for that one game. Also, another one I saw, Butler, one of those perennial big dance teams there, facing off against them in the preseason there as well. So.
I mean, that Hinkle Fieldhouse, I mean, that's a bucket list arena for most people. I was fortunate enough way back when I first started coaching, the Final Four was down there in Indianapolis, and I played in a 3-on-3 tournament. I remember walking in there and just like the field, the old school basketball field when you walk in there. And so, you know, a great opportunity for our guys to play in the gym that Hoosiers was filmed in. And so there's a lot of tradition in that arena.
Well, it's not hard to get excited about the season. It sounds good to me, and I cannot wait to get back in Trojan Arena. Thanks for joining us here today.
Thank you for having me.
And thank you for joining us on today's edition of Trojan Talk.